Yes, I will.
Okay.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. There are many things that the Gregorian calendar got wrong. Hello. All right. There are many things that the Gregorian calendar got wrong, and there are some objections, like the year starts and ends on different weekdays. Dates fall on different days on different years. Months have a varying length. Quarter lengths are different. That's month, January, February, March for the first quarter, the next 3 months, the next 3 months, and next 3 months. All right. Another objection is that papal authority should be rejected. Some people are like that. And each month has no relation to lunar phases, even though it's called month. And solstices and equinoxes fall on strange days. Why is it on March 20th? Who knows? But all of these objections are not satisfied by one single calendar, because there are mutually exclusive conditions. And they all come down to one single fact, that 365 is not a very good number in terms of divisions. So what is a good number? Looking around, you can see that 360 is sort of nice. 2 cubed times 3 squared times 5. But there is a better number, 364. Why is that? Because it's divisible by 7. 7 is a magic number in calendars because people like a week of 7 days. Why? I have no idea. It doesn't have to be 7, right? You can have 8 days a week, or shorter, 5 days a week. It doesn't matter. But 7 is a magical number. So 364 is 13 times 28, and some of the proposed calendar reforms include positivist calendar, 1849, 13 months of 28 days each, and has these characteristics. The Day of the Dead is the 13th month, 29 days, and every 4 years, a festival of holy women is introduced. The next one is Pax calendar, which is very similar, 13 months of 28 days. Columbus month is introduced between November and December. They had a very different view of Columbus back then. Every week starts on Sunday, and leap week is inserted after Columbus. 364 is also 4 times 91, and there's a world calendar for that. The days are distributed this way. And there's a W day that doesn't fall onto any month. And intercalary day is also introduced in the years corresponding to Gregorian leap year. There's another one called the World Season Calendar, introduced by Isaac Asimov, of all people. And the year starts on the winter solstice. It's a Sunday. Quarters A through D. And extra day is D92, and intercalary day is D92. 364 is also 52 times 7, and that is the basis of the Henry calendar. And it's like this. Starts on Sunday, and every so often, the extra day that you get, right? 365 days, and we have 1 day extra. You have to do something with this extra day, and you're going to collect them to make an extra week. Now, which one will win? I don't think anyone will, because we are too embedded in the Gregorian calendar. So, thank you very much. Oh wait, there's one more thing.
We should totally eliminate time zones. Daylight savings time. And time zones. Thank you. I was thinking of all the times.
Okay, next one.
Touch
Decentralized gaming by Asaf Gilbert. Yeah, all right. Go.
Okay, so I accidentally deleted my first slide, which just said that this talk is going to be about beating poker sites with Ruby, as opposed to just beating poker. So I just want to tell you about a project that a friend and I worked on in a decentralization hackathon a few weeks ago in Tel Aviv. We built a decentralized platform for multiplayer gaming in 20 hours. It was just like really basic, but it worked for demos. So Decent Gaming, as I said, is a platform for completely decentralized multiplayer gaming. The two issues we were trying to address were first that, like in poker sites, for example, you have to actually deposit all your money to the site to play, and they shouldn't actually hold your money because there were cases where people tried to withdraw their money back, and the site just said, "Oh, we don't have it. I mean, we spent it." This actually happened. And the second thing is that you shouldn't have to trust the site not to teach you. There were sites that were caught just like fixing decks so people would like get really good hands and just bet more, and then they would make more money. These things really happen. So the way the game starts is that we have J-Bond playing against Dr. No for life. The first player creates a multi-sig address. A multi-sig address basically means 3 people are assigned on this Bitcoin address, and you need the approval of 2 out of those 3 people to withdraw money. So he creates that address and sends the address to the other guy. They then both pay the buy-in amount, and they each wait to see that the address has the actual money that both of them put in. So this way, they are both in charge of their money. They can decide on like an intermediary in case one of them just like leaves in the middle, and they don't have to deposit any money anywhere. So the first thing you need to be able to play is be able to decide on a random number. And this is really difficult to do. I mean, we thought it was really difficult to do in a decentralized way without having like one guy deciding on a number and telling everyone what it is. But it turns out it's pretty easy. Both players just decide on a random number, each one by himself, and they exchange that random number. They just add them up in modulo by 6 for dice rolling, for example, and they can both agree on the same result. Now this works because the minute you try to cheat, you're becoming predictable. If you become predictable, the other player has the advantage of being able to give deliberate numbers that will make the dice roll better for him if he knows what you're going to pick. So you always have the interest of maintaining complete randomness. The third thing is exchanging decisions. So for example, in a game like rock, paper, scissors, each player has to decide what he's going to do and tell the other player without the other player knowing what he does before he decides on his decision. Yeah. So the way that works is a bit more complex, but it can still completely work without having a server to like negotiate between them. So again, both players decide on their move and sign it. Now signing basically means it's like hashing. You can just like lock it up with your own private key, and you send it over to the other player, and he can't know what you picked, but he will later be able to verify that you didn't lie. So after receiving each other's signed decisions, they can just exchange the actual decisions that they made. So I would send rock, and the other player would send paper back to me, and we can verify that what we sent before, the signed message that we committed to, is actually what we did in the end. And we can verify that just by like hashing it again, or in case of Bitcoin, just signing the message, verifying the signed message that we got earlier. So once we verify that, we know that we both didn't try to cheat each other, and the game just works. Do we have time for the demo? How much do we have left?
27 seconds.
We don't have time for demos, so come through there and I'll show you. viewers. And I didn't get the buzzer.
Thank you. Okay, next up, a RubyConf PH story by Mikong. Okay, 3, 2.
Both Felix. Di pa gumagana.
Try turning it off and on again.
Okay, 3,
Oh yeah.
go.
Alright, this won't take long. I'll be silent most of the talk, so. And this is supposedly the after credits of Avengers, the shawarma scene. And since I have a bit more time left, I'd like to talk about the technical difficulties of making this film. Particularly one aspect, which is that, so this actually came from different devices. I got a video from Buddy, photos from Red, a video from my iPhone, and for the iPhone, it was easy to transfer to my Mac because I just used AirDrop and the SD card. There's a slot for SD card for the SLR. But we actually had a problem for the Android phone. Buddy forgot his Windows machine, or he didn't bring it. So some doodles. Yeah, so Galaxy S4 to Mac by USB doesn't transfer the files. So we tried connecting S4 by Bluetooth to my Mac, and nothing. From my Mac to the S4, still nothing. S4 Bluetooth connection to my iPhone, still nothing. And unfortunately, as far as micro SD, and we didn't have an adapter, so we couldn't use it on the SD card slot of my Mac. So somebody suggested YouTube, but you know the Wi-Fi of this hotel is not gonna happen. Finally, we used a local radio environment. So we're finally able to transfer the video. Thanks.
Okay, yeah, you're very first of time.
Make it technical.
Was just a little over 4 minutes. All right.
There it goes. Okay. Last year I started working on a replacement for ERB and Hamel called Express Templates. It's kind of a fool's errand, but I hope not. There's a good reason for it. The reason is that I'm working on a drag and drop live editing of views. And in order to make this happen, I have to take, I have to place some restrictions on what you can do in a view. For example, removing view logic, which is a source of a lot of pain in Rails applications. So the method, so I created something called an express template. It uses Ruby syntax. We use the block structure of Ruby to indicate the ordering of components in a view. Components are more high level than tags, but they could be tags. I'm going to go real quick because I need help at the end, or I'm going to solicit your help. It uses components. We have an object graph that spins up when you parse this thing, and so all your logic goes into components. Components themselves can use template code right in the Ruby. It's one grammar. With my how it works slide is, oh, it's animated. Okay. So everyone's familiar with the Rails view. Here, ERB, Haml, Slim, those things run through a compile step, and it results in a bunch of Ruby code which gets evaluated in the magical Rails view object. Express templates adds a step in front. I call it expansion. It's a kind of analogous to a macro thing, and you end up with this tree of nodes of instances of components. They compile then down to the Ruby code, which gets evaluated in the view. Okay, so when I first wrote it, it was really fast, but I had an undiscovered bug waiting for me, and I had to break out the power tool of introducing a final interpolator parser step at the end, and I looked at a couple simple things and they didn't work, so I used Parselet, and Parselet is a really neat library. If you ever need to bang out a quick little parser thing, check out Parselet. The problem is it ruined my performance test, and so I had to comment all the performance tests out. It was like almost as fast as ERB and many times faster than Haml, but it blew it away. So now I have to get rid of this slow thing. And I'm asking if anybody knows the tool that I should use. It's beautiful. It's an elegant little thing that defines like a little thing on the end of this process. But yeah. Does anybody know a tool I can use to do this? Do I have to like write a grammar, a tokenizer, and then like do it all? I don't want to do it in C.
I think Parselet uses the regular expressions. So
No, there's another library that does do
Oh, it
regex.
does, okay.
Yes, yeah, no, yeah, I didn't want to do, yeah, I tried to hack it with regex first, of course, and threw that out.
Have you
Nothing.
tried Temple?
Temple?
Temple is used by Slim.
Okay,
Yeah, so it can be helpful.
okay, Temple. You here? Want to write that down? Temple, okay. Any other ideas?
ANTLR, you tried?
Antler, A-N-T-L-R? Is that like a parser generator? What is
yeah,
it?
it's a whole shebang in Java. It's a different thing altogether.
Okay. All right.
I don't. Antler cannot generate the Ruby code.
Is there like a Ruby Yak thing or anything like that?
Yeah, there's a rack,
Okay.
but I don't know much about it.
Okay. All right. That's all. Thank you.
Once I'm hitting the time, go ahead. Just be careful, don't fall. Okay, the next talk is How to Talk to Your Barber by Mark.
Wait, can I?
I'll start the timer and well, we don't have a lot of time. So.
Display.
Okay. Go.
Okay. So, this talk came about in a conversation yesterday. This talk came about in a conversation yesterday with one of my friends here here in the RubyConf, and basically I realized that a lot, especially males, when they do their haircut, basically they just say, "Give me a haircut that works for me." And what the problem that I encountered with this is that for each stylist or barber, they give you a different haircut, and sometimes they're not as good, or maybe they're good from their perspective, but it's not what you expected. And so I've been into, I've looked into different, I guess, some terminologies that work for me, and something that most barbers or hairstylists would understand. And the goal here is to just, I guess, be more mindful and be more specific when specifying haircut, because it's just as good as saying a client saying to you that make my website look colorful, or yeah, it's so generic. So first off, when you go to a barber, one improvement that you can do is instead of vaguely describing what you want, take a picture. Search Google for haircuts for rounded face, because I have a round face, or thin hair, if you have thin hair, and take it to your barber and give him a more concrete example of what you want. So here are some examples of how to be more specific. Don't say just give me a trim or trim a little on top. You should specify how long your hair how long you would like it to be. So for example, cut an inch on top, half an inch on the side, cut up to my eye level, which is what I have right now, and you could also gradually fade from eye level to 1 inch at the back. And another thing is taper versus same length. Most guys would probably have some sort of taper. A taper is typically a gradual, it's like a gradient in the side of your face and at the back. So there are specific guards for specific measurements. So right now I have a 0 to 1. So 0 is having is a 100th of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. So basically the number specifies how many eighths of an inch it has. So for example, 0, except for 0, 1 is 1/8 of an inch, 2 is 2/8 or 1/4, 3 is 3/8 of an inch, etc. That's me, by the way, and the poster Oh, that's an example of taper cut, and I'm going to talk about names now. So, block nape versus taper nape. Most guys, if you're really lazy, just do the taper nape. So that's what I'll say about that. Just go with the taper if you're lazy. Sideburns, easy, top, middle, bottom. Because most guys just ignore it. Texture, well, this may apply to women also, but most guys like textured hair, so there are different methods and they give different effects. So experiment with this tree. Choppy is where they cut the scissors at 45 degrees. Thinning out, he's using a thinning scissors. I think I have a picture of that here somewhere. Whatever. It looks like a comb. It looks like a comb with scissors with a comb. So it cuts some of your hair and some they don't cut. That's what effect it gives. And what's next? Last thing. Be open to the suggestions because it may not fit your face shape or hair type. That's all.
Haircuts.
Does it apply to Crystal Internet?
The next is